For this video, there's going to be sources in the comments. So if you would like to look at any of the research that I have taken a look at and gathered for the making of this video, they will be in the comments and they will be linked. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Why Did Anyone Fall for That? Because today we're talking about grifters, the people who can talk you out of your money while you're still nodding along thinking that you're winning. A grifter is basically someone who gets money dishonestly by tricking people, according to Cambridge Dictionary. And they're not rare people either. In 2025, nearly 30% of people who reported losing money to a scam said it started on social media, according to the Federal Trade Commission. Reported losses from social media-based scams hit about $2.1 billion that year, also according to the Federal Trade Commission. So the real question isn't, why are people so dumb? It's, how does this actually work? Now, let's go into the core of the system. Grifters don't just be evil harder and magically win. They tend to run the same three things over and over again, like a script. They lean on emotional manipulation, social proof, and time pressure, because those three things reliably push people away from calm thinking, according to guidance on con artist tactics from psychology and legal education sites. Once you see those three levers, you start noticing them in sketchy DMs, miracle business courses, and that limited spots webinar your cousin keeps sending you. Now, step one is almost always flip your feelings on before your brain can think. Grifters deliberately try to trigger strong emotions like excitement, fear, or sympathy because intense feelings tend to weaken careful decision making, according to an overview of grifter psychology from criminaldefenselawyer.com. You might notice this when someone opens with, "I can get you financial freedom in 30 days," or "only a heartless person would say no to this right now," which lines up with how guilt tripping and emotional pressure are described in dark psychology and manipulation guides. Here's how this process usually goes. First, they identify what you're already worried about or obsessed with: money, love, health, or status. Then, they wrap themselves in that emotion. "I escaped debt. I care so much about people like you. I'm just trying to help." Finally, they quietly attach that emotion to a payment link, a course, a coin, a donation, or whatever they're selling. Because you feel seen and understood, it can feel rude to question them, which is exactly the point. Over time, this turns into a feedback loop. The more your emotions are hooked, the less you want to admit you might be wrong. So you double down instead of backing out. Now, the second part is what I'll call the social proof mirror. If everyone else seems to trust this person, your brain relaxes. Social media has turned this into a full-on grift playground. 1 in 4 people who reported losing money to fraud since 2021 said the scam started on social media, according to the Federal Trade Commission. Reported losses to scams on social media for that period hit about $2.7 billion, also according to the Federal Trade Commission. So, how do grifters borrow trust? Well, they might stack fake testimonials, follower counts, and client wins to signal that other people checked the product for you already, which fits with research showing grifters rely heavily on the herd principle. They might pose as investment mentors or experts in group chats that are filled with fake successful investors. Matching patterns seen in social media investment scams described by regulators. You might notice this when every comment under a post sounds like a commercial, or when a friend suddenly turns into a 24/7 ambassador for some opportunity. Once the mirror is built, people feel safer handing over money because it worked for all these other people, which keeps the loop running as new victims become new fake success stories. The third part is the time squeeze. Create pressure so you feel like you have to decide now or lose everything. Classic studies on decisions under time pressure show people lean more on emotional shortcuts when they don't have time to think. A pattern grifters take advantage of with today only deadlines, according to summaries of decision making research discussed in Cyblog's breakdown of grifter tactics. Legal education resources on scammers make the same point. Urgency and crisis energy are built in so you don't slow down long enough to ask basic questions. In real life, this sounds like only 5 spots left. I'm closing enrollment tonight. If you don't send it in the next 10 minutes, we'll have to freeze your account. The market is about to explode. You'll miss the wave. And once you're in the time squeeze, every second feels expensive. That stress makes you want to end the discomfort quickly, which often means doing the fastest thing. Pay, click, agree, instead of the smartest thing. Pause, verify, or walking away. And the beauty of the system, for them, not for you, is that if you later realize it was a scam, the shame of, oh, I panicked and clicked, can make you less likely to talk about it, which, keeps their tricks hidden and stuff. Okay, now here's the weirdest part. The same levers and systems these grifters are using are also perfectly normal, non-evil things that normally are used in work. Real businesses, charities, and educators also use emotion, social proof, and deadlines because those tools can help people pay attention, feel safe trying something new, and actually commit instead of endlessly scrolling. Marketing guides and mental health articles both point out that stories, testimonials, and reasonable time windows can actually help people take useful action when they might otherwise stay stuck. So it's not that these things are automatically bad, it's that grifters strip out the value part and keep only the pressure and payment part. When the system is used honestly, you usually see clear information, realistic promises, and options to back out. When it's used as a grift, you tend to see fuzzy details, extreme guarantees, and a lot of heat around the payment step, which matches warning signs listed in consumer protection advice on scams. Now, for what you can do. You can't stop grifters from grifting, sadly. It's impossible. But you can make their favorite tricks much less effective on you. Before you click pay, you can ask yourself 3 quick questions that line up with the stuff we just walked through. 1. Am I mainly feeling hyped or scared right now? 2. Am I trusting this because of what they said or because of what some random crowd seems to think? And 3. Would I still say yes if I had to wait 24 hours? These are all questions that consumer protection agencies and therapists suggest as simple ways to step out of manipulative pressure. You can't control who tries to hustle you out of a labubu or a 6-7 joke, but understanding how the system works gives you a lot more control over how you respond, and that alone can make most grifts fail. Please leave a hype. Still don't know how a hype works, but please leave a hype because leave it and it probably will boost me. And a like, and a subscribe, and a comment, and a share, and also get it to your grandma. And then also I'm going to emotionally manipulate you to share it with your granddad, and I'm going to make you pay for stuff, and I'm going to become a grifter now. Actually, yeah, my other videos where I grifted actually did really well. No, I'm just kidding. I never grifted. Did I grift? I hope I didn't grift. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day, and I hope you come back to watch another video. Goodbye.